Gender income inequality is a common social issue occurred in many countries. It refers to the average income difference between male and female employees while they are working in the same position. In Australia, through all the industries, the gender wage gap for full-time workers are around 23.1%, which comparatively exceeds the standard of OECD about 7.6%. The gender pay gap is considerably distorting the long-term labor productivity of Australia, and it hurts the women's physical and mental health as well. It is important to eliminate the gender wage gap so that these two problems can be solved. Moreover, to narrow the gender pay gap down is able to attract and retain the talent staff for the company, and it can also improve the working passion of employees. Therefore, in order to address this issue, here are two recommendations are provided by following.
I'm Hinako. I will talk about recommendation 1. To resolve the gender income gap, we recommend your organization to introduce a job task evaluation system. The designing of evaluation system is very effective to remove the prejudice on women when assessing income. It is very important because huge gender income gap is found especially in remuneration of managerial class rather than non-managerial class. Basically, remuneration has to be assessed with performance-based evaluation. However, there is stereotype in favor of men still left in your organization because its process is very ambiguous. This affects less income for female workers. To solve this problem, you should make evaluation system more transparent and more tangible to workers with a measurable assessment. For example, ranking is a very simple and effective method to make evaluation more performance-based, and additionally, it does not need much cost. Next, we talk about recommendation 2.
Recommendation 2 is pay transparency, which can be conducted to narrow or even close the gender pay gap. In the past years, the organization preferred to use pay secrecy policy to ban employees sharing pay information with their colleagues, which means managers have an opportunity to make pay determination criteria that might be unfair to their female employees. However, pay transparency gives women a chance to detect when and why they are unpaid, and females are available to change their weak negotiation positions when they control the salary information. Moreover, pay transparency asks organizations to open the gender pay gap in the public, which forces them to explain the reason for those differences and to consider what they can do to reduce the gap. So, pay transparency is a crucial beginning step to close the gender pay gap. Let's move on to the benefits of these two recommendations.
The first recommendation mentioned that the organization can re-establish an equitable job evaluation task system. In such a system, the assessor systematically allocate work to make direct link between each task and performance pay clear, which can help women to obtain more fair performance-related income. Besides, a fair job evaluation task system can help eliminate prejudice in each performance evaluation phase so that organizations can minimize their rating errors. Increased transparency in payment is proposed as a second recommendation. This is because biases and stereotypes may affect employers' compensation decisions on the pay security. Moreover, it is difficult for women to compare their pay to similarly situated employees. This can also lead to female employees lacking evidence to challenge the organization's illegal behavior or participate in salary negotiations. Therefore, removing gender pay gap requires greater pay transparency.
Let's move on to the conclusion. As mentioned before, gender equality is significant to increase organizational productivity and attract and retain people with ability. Besides, gender equality also plays an important role on improving the work enthusiasm and protecting women's physical and mental health. So, it is necessary for companies to narrow the gender pay gap. In order to solve these problems, my partner suggests companies to apply job task evaluation system and pay transparency. This action can create a more equitable performance evaluation system and eliminate bias and prejudice on female salary. It also can allow female employees attain more compensations, negotiate evidence. This is our reference list. Thank you for your listening.